Max in Sausalito, California.
Hey, Alan, how are you?
Hi.
Hey, Alan, you're a journalist, right?
No.
Okay, no problem. Your science advisor that you had on a little while ago.
He's not my science advisor. His name is Bill Nye, the science guy. He's a very well-known scientist.
Okay.
But what's your point?
Well, I was listening to him, and he was making some good points, but I was waiting for him to kind of like go full circle, and I was only hearing half the circle. He was claiming, he was talking about global warming, and he was saying, well, regardless of whether it's man-made or not, we should do something about it. And I go, yeah, I kind of agree with that. But the message of one side of the political equation does want to make it into a man-made.
What do you mean?
Issue.
It doesn't matter whether it's man-made or not. The issue is it's there.
I'm not arguing with you on that.
So what's the argument?
My argument is this: the guy who you said is the science, the guy.
Well, it's not. I'm saying he's the science guy. His professional moniker is Bill Nye, the science guy. He's had a number of TV shows, very well known. But go ahead.
All right, fine. But this guy, the quote-unquote science guy, didn't bring up the fact that, we've got ice caps melting on Mars. There are no people on Mars. We have a fact that the sun is putting out more energy now.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Let me finish.
So what? What's the point? So what?
Well, the fact is that the sun is putting out more energy. It's heating up.
We weren't arguing. What are you upset about? We weren't arguing whether it was man-made or not.
There's nothing you can do about it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that wasn't. What's your problem?
Well, you can't control the sun.
Why are you so angry?
Because you've not.
We weren't talking about whether it was man-made or not. That wasn't the argument. We weren't even arguing. We were talking about the fact that it's scientific fact that there's such a thing as global warming, and there are a number of deniers who will not agree with the science.
I'll address the question, Alan. The anger comes from the idea that the government is now going to go ahead and create some sort of systems that are going to tax the people or tax the industry.
Wait. The government's going to. No, you wait a second. The government's going to go and do what?
Well, they're going to go ahead and create what are these energy credits, carbon credits? When you got a
when are they going to do this?
Alan, can I speak?
Well, but the fact is, there's something called because you're being ridiculous.
If you have the sun,
there's something called global warming. It exists. It doesn't matter whether it's man-made or not. The fact is,
that's what you're not hearing. It's the sun itself is actually putting out more energy. You cannot control the sun.
It doesn't. The point is that if we could do.
That's the point.
Well,
Alan, I'm not trying to.
If there are things we can do in order to. And by the way, it is caused by us being on this earth. Just because.
No,
well, of course it is.
No, look,
of course
Alan,
it is.
I like listening to you. I'm telling you right now, part of the equation needs to include that the sun is putting out more energy, and you can't control the sun. Taxes.
I'm saying that there are, I'm saying to you, there's more than one factor that causes global warming, and one of the factors, and because that wasn't the point of our conversation.
The science.
Goodbye. What is your problem? You're a right-wing radio listener all day. That's your problem. And you hear this crap that comes from these right-wing hosts, and you won't shut the hell up about it. That's what your problem is. These people drive me nuts. That wasn't the point of the argument. We weren't talking about that. You heard one part of a much larger conversation, and you went crazy because you're convinced that either there's no such thing as global warming, or which you probably agree with now, or it's not man-made, and I can't be responsible, and the government's going to do all this horrible thing to us because that's what your right-wing talk show hosts tell you. It just drives me nuts. People regurgitating back to me what you hear on right-wing talk radio all day. You've just picked up one part of a much larger conversation and totally ignored the whole point of the conversation. I'm going to take a short break, hose myself down, and we'll be right back at 877-367-2526.